We had this discussion with Connor Tomlinson about like actual liberalism. There's post-liberals and the idea of like what a liberal society does. This is not liberal. They're trending leftist, which is generic cultism, but wearing hijab and demanding that males enter your spaces is fundamentalist. Religious. It's not liberal.
Yeah, but it is liberalism today, because liberalism is detaching away from the norm into individualism. And we've seen this with Christianity. People just wear Christianity like they wear crosses, or they use their churches as activism centers, especially in black churches. They become activism centers for BLM. So it makes sense that Islam would not take on its rudimentary dogma, and that you would end up taking it on in this emotional sense.
But it's not liberalism.
But this is the result of liberalism. This is what happens when a nation. This is what happened. Liberalism won against fascism, and now we fought against communism in the Cold War. Liberalism dominates the global spectrum today. All we have today are pretty much liberal countries, to an extent, minus a few that are out there in Africa and North Korea, etc. But it's like, this is what liberalism does. It detaches the individual from a group collective and gives them the right to self-interpretation.
And so now these women are veering towards
they're retarded. They don't realize
Islam,
what they're doing. Yeah.
And fundamentalism and Sharia.
They don't know they're completely unaware that Muslim countries are fundamentally illiberal. They have no idea. And also, what is like the Muslim population in this country? Like 1%? They don't live around Muslims. They have no idea what is it like. They don't know anything about their religion.
And
or
this trends more towards heavy Marxist indoctrination, meaning that a lot of the posts that I saw them reading about it were talking nothing about what they're wearing or what their beliefs are, whether they are Muslim or not, but what they're talking about is they refer to Israel as a settler colonial nation. And so they're focused on that. They're not focused on how it's interpreted here. They're focused on how it's interpreted over there.
What I'm saying is, whether intentionally or otherwise, we are seeing consistently millennial and Gen Z women push towards patriarchal fundamentalist control systems.
Because it's not Christian patriarchy.
Well, regardless. Yeah. It was wild to see a bunch of these women at Columbia putting on hijab. And I'm like, the women in Iran are ripping them off and facing the death penalty for doing this. And you're here putting them all on and then pretending to pray. It's wild.
It makes no more sense than supporting Queers for Palestine.
It was crazy when Alex Stein went and started asking people, and they genuinely do not know. They really don't seem to know that, for instance, in Gaza, if it is a crime to be gay, it's 10 years in prison if you're gay. If they catch you doing some kind of gay act. And there are many instances where Palestinians from either Gaza or the West Bank sought refuge in Israel and were granted refuge. But they genuinely don't know any of this. That's why I refer to, when people talk about wokeness and they try and say that it's like postmodernist and communist, that's all wrong. Wokeness is literally just an amorphous blob of cult-like adherence to group social norms. That's it. There's nothing there. That's why you've got women at Columbia wearing hijab now and complaining about patriarchy at the same time.
It's just rigid leftism without any thought to how far down the road until your ideas...
It's not leftism, though. Yeah. Like, we colloquially will refer to them as leftists, but I'm saying woke is nothing. An example, it's not leftist in ideology to fund war in Ukraine, right? That makes no sense. Islam is not like on the left. I'm talking about actual left philosophy and economic or cultural. Islam is fundamentalist, traditionalist, is nowhere near what the left ever espoused, showing that the woke don't actually adhere to anything. It's just a cult.